Hey everyone, it's Will, GamerDad, with another video for you. So in this video, of course, we're going to go over the farming results over the last 2 weeks. Now if you haven't already, make sure you like and subscribe to my channel, I really appreciate it. I also do have a Patreon account for those who want to support me this way. So this is my very first AS Sukiya treatise, and I'm actually really excited to get this particular one. Honestly, she is a really top tier Fire Slash user, and I'm looking forward to eventually upgrading my OG version to the AS version. But 1 down, 4 more to go. Otherwise, if you're wondering what I'm doing over the last couple weeks and moving forward into the future, this is obviously before the release of the Goddess of Time Part 2, and so I was still concentrating on doing the Antiquity Garulea in preparation for grinding more Garulite. I realized that after doing this, I wouldn't be spending much time in the Antiquity, and honestly, you're going to be moving forward to grinding both the new Grasta upgrades as well as the Light for Serene. So, if you guys are still grinding the Antiquity or present, keep in mind that you will need to do that until you at least get enough junk or bones to trade for those decreased costs in the future. I don't think those decreased costs have actually activated for global yet. So don't spend your 50 junk or bones on those upgrades yet. Wait for the cost to decrease and then buy them from the store later. Now at this part, I was actually upgrading or trying to get some more tomes in Riftbreaker very hard in order to get, for example, the Boyne Lord, which is for Yifa's VC Grasta. So I've been grinding over there for the last couple weeks, and while we're there, might as well grind for Helena's Shadow. So keep in mind that although this is a light dungeon, that is, you do need 120 light minimum in order to get all 3 Rowan lines, you can still grind a shadow unit here, and I think this is one of the unique ones where you're using a light team to grind a shadow unit. That being said, not only was I fairly lucky here in grinding a few items here, I finally have 80 light for Helena. Now, for those who don't know, in a future update, once we catch up near to Japan or to Japan itself, when you do have 80 shadow or light on a unit, you will unlock 4 move slots as opposed to 3. So, my advice is to always grind for shadow or light with your keys, especially for ones that you are planning to carry into the future. I still think that Aldo, as our hero, should be a priority to grind. I alternate between him as well as Gildna, and of course, now that we're going into the future Garulea, I will be grinding Serene. Gildna serves a double purpose. He's a very high shadow carrier in terms of shadow battery. He is a top tier fire unit, and also he is a zone setter for me since I don't have any hardy. So for those most of us who don't have hardy, AS Garyu and OG Gary will serve us well into the future, and his main AoE is great for clearing mobs in all forms of antiquity. So in Garulea. So I find him very, very useful. Obviously, what video would not be complete without trying to get some chat scripts here. One thing I don't like about the future Garulea is it feels like the chat script drop rate will be much lower, being that, it'll take us some time to kind of grind out those altered ores, and you have to trade in 30 of those altered ores to buy one of the tickets to get into the satellite stadium. And so I'm going to say that it's not going to be quite as good as the Antiquity or the present day Garulea. Remember that once you have enough junk or bones, you can prioritize going to sections that don't have the sparkles and go to the sections that have 4 chests, and each 2 of the 4 chests will have a chance of getting a chant script. And so if you are running those dungeons, you actually have a overall slightly higher chance of grinding chant scripts. Now, apparently some people are saying in future Garulea that the satellite stadium will have a high rate of getting chant scripts. However, the cost of grinding 30 of those altered orbs, especially since you do need those altered orbs or to trade in for Grasta and other key items, I don't think I'll be doing that anytime soon. Hey, let me know in the comments below, for those who are grinding in future Garulea, whether or not you feel that trading in 30 at a time for those altered, satellite stadium tickets is worth it. I'm still saving up for the 4 weapons as well as the specialized item. Now, in that quick clip there, I just wanted to show you that if you do carry more than 999 of any junk or bones, you will not be able to carry anymore. So make sure you do spend them if you need to and you've had hit the cap limit, which is 999. I've never seen that before. So this is obviously still in Riftbreaker. I will say that now that the new update is out, I'm prioritizing grinding more Shadow back in Snake Liver Damaku with Gilna. And the reason for that is I am over 200 Shadow in Garyu, and since I won't be grinding more for Garyu, I really want to have 2 units comprise the 360 Shadow requirement for any dungeons that have the 5 reward lines. That being said, if he is at 200 and something, you know that your second unit will probably be Gilna, since, let's be honest, Gilna with his Calamity is a strong fire / AoE, doesn't really need much of a setup, it can clear mobs in one hit, and he's actually very useful for killing a lot of the bosses if you set him up with the Celestial Saber first. So that being said, you can grind it in Snake Liver Damaku. Not only that, you can get the required tomes, for example, for the Jin tome for Mayumfa, there's the Elga's tome, I think Dunarith is there, for example. There's a few tomes you can grind out the VC Grasta for, but the main thing is Gilna would be at like 150, 160 Shadow, and if you have like Garyu at 200-ish or more, then you know you will have the 360 Shadow requirement. And so I highly recommend that being the target in the future. And in terms of light, obviously you can use Aldo, but for a lot of us who are at this end stage of the game, you can just do Straw Boy, and if you can get him high enough, like in the 200 range, really you only need Straw Boy plus Aldo, or maybe even some gacha characters if you have enough to bring you to 360 light. So I'm sure many of you guys in the end game probably already have 360 light. But like I said, as a free-to-play, I really want to have a variety of kind of team comps, and so by having less characters make up the 360 Shadow or 360 light requirement, then you really can vary your team makeup to kind of handle any sort of challenge. That being said, with all the newest Grasta and the Grasta upgrades and a lot of your powerful units, I haven't found the future Garulea extremely challenging. I was actually worried that my team wouldn't be able to handle it, but with the likes of Serene with Manifest, for example, Garyu with Manifest, AS Myris, she's taking it down very, very easily. Okay, so in this part of the video, we are looking for 215 Shadow for Garyu. And you can see that the 250 mark is actually quite good. You get the int 25, so makes them even more powerful. One thing I will note is that, obviously, if you have gadget units, they start with a 5-star starts with 16 Shadow or 16 light. As you get higher in the dupes, you will get those extra kind of milestones for rewards for the stat bonuses. But most of us, especially if you're free play, probably won't get into the 200 range unless you spend a lot of money. So grinding, honestly, is one of the only ways we have to unlock all the dungeon rewards. And like I said, because Garyu can get to such a high level, he's actually a lot more powerful than even some of my gacha characters, being that his stats bonuses are huge. And this is actually my 3rd Melodiva Treatise. I actually can upgrade AS Seal if I need to. If I have to buy the 2 treatises, I am holding off and hoping 2 of them drop randomly. And you can also see I finally made it to 215 Shadow. So this was actually only a few days before Future Garulea was out. So perfect timing, got the stat bonus, and at the full 255 Shadow, you can see that he does get an extra 100 MP, which is amazing for a mage. So for those who are patient enough to go all the way for 255 Shadow, you will get all the benefits with those stats. In other notes, I keep on getting the Sky Sprite Treatise, so let me know in the comments below which treatise is haunting you guys the most. I don't find AS Runa being very useful. I know that she could have been useful against the Ice Golem, but let's be honest, most of us have a pretty sweet team, especially for Wind, with Yuri being a free unit, Azami, even Morgana. And in this case, got another AS Elga, not too bad, but really, I'm still looking for more Crimson Knight tomes for the VC Grasta for Radius. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.